Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, welcome to our podcast. So in this podcast, we're gonna talk about the different culture between United States and United Kingdom and comparing with Indonesian's culture. Before we start the topic, we will introduce ourselves. My name is Ananda Ivania Rosmala from Applied Foreign Language Diponegoro University Class B, and my friend.
Hello, my name is Lintang Laras Amalya from Applied Foreign Language Class B, Diponegoro University.
Okay, let's just start talking about the topic. So first, what we're gonna talk about, Lintang?
Yeah, the first we will gonna talk about language. If we talk about the difference culture between America and British, it's certainly not far from language. British English still retains a spelling that is predominantly French. Meanwhile, American English is spelled more often in almost the same way it is pronounced, and American English eliminates unnecessary letters. It's common for dialect of American English to pronounce the letter R by rolling the tongue back, tightening the roof of the mouth. In contrast, British dialect do not pronounce the letter R in words, especially when it comes at the end of the word. Then there is also a lot of different vocabulary between America and British English. Even though the object is the same, sometimes the pronunciation is different and people misunderstand. Example, in America, French fries, but in English, chips. And then soccer. In America, soccer, but in England is football, etc. If we compare them to Indonesian language, they are certainly very different. Indonesian language does not recognize tenses that distinguish in using present and past language. Indonesian language also pronounces the letter R clearly, and each word is pronounced based on the writing.
Okay, I see. And yeah, Indonesian language it's definitely different, right, from both American and British.
Of course. Okay guys, that's not all we will discuss. There are many more, and it seems I like the topic that will be brought by my friend. Surely you will also be happy because Nia will talk about food. It doesn't take long to get started.
Okay, I will talk about the food. For the food, American food was influenced by European and Native American people in its early history. There are a number of foods that are known to originate in America, such as hamburgers, hot dogs, potato chips, mac and cheese, and meat patties. The term apple pie, as it comes from America, has the meaning of something coming from America. Table manner in America. American basic meal setting usually place 3 regulates on each side. Usually placed eating settings such as spoons and knives on the right, forks on the left, and little spoons for dessert. In British, there is afternoon tea. Afternoon tea is common in British. Afternoon tea aims to prop stomach before dinner time. It needs basic setting consisting of a teapot, saucer, strainer, spoon, fork, and knife. Not to forget multi-level plates to put snacks for, and for a dinner. A typical British meal for dinner is meat and to fat also dessert. Table manner in British, you have to use a fork with your left hand and knife with your right hand. When you have finished eating, Show it by tilting your knife and fork to the right of your plate. In Indonesia, almost all Indonesian dishes contain spices such as chilies, ginger, turmeric, and others. Popular Indonesian dishes such as satay, rendang, bakso, and others. Indonesian cuisine generally uses a spoon in the right and a fork in the left, although in many places many people eat with their direct hands. So that's the difference between American, British, and Indonesian food. It's very interesting, right? And into the third topic, we will talk about the education system in the United States, United Kingdom, and Indonesia. Is it same? Then which education system is the best among the three countries? If you're curious, keep listening to us.
Okay. American schools have the advantage of decentralization, but America has centralized education system. There is no federal education system in the US, where education is the responsibility of individual states and districts. As a result, educational standards and requirements vary widely from state to state and district to district. But each of these states provide 12 years of free education. Students in the United States begin their education at kindergarten at 5 to 6 years old. To complete secondary education in grade 12 at 18 years old. In American public school, tuition and book free, but not all students still need to pay for AP class, ex-school, sport, school trip, etc. American schools don't have to wear uniform, very different in Indonesia. School uniforms are determined by the government, but in private school, there are also those that do not follow the government. Meanwhile, the education system in the United Kingdom is divided into 4 main parts, namely primary education, secondary education, further education, and higher education. All students studying in the United Kingdom are required to attend primary and secondary education starting at the age of 5 to 16 years old. Education in Indonesia is organized in a structured and unstructured manner. In Indonesia, all residents are required to follow the compulsory basic education program for 9 years, 6 years at primary school, and 3 years at junior high school. Another difference in school is that in America and British, there are no religious lessons taught in school, no group prayer meetings in school which are led by teachers or school initiates. But in the school, there are religious clubs. They are free to participate in every student and are not included in the curriculum. In American and British public school, every student has a different religion. So, if there is a religious lesson, it will cause conflict. Wow, you guys are no longer curious about the education system in US, UK, and Indonesia, right? Each country has its own uniqueness to take care of education in their country. Guys, I hope you don't get bored listening to our podcast and it doesn't feel like we're in the last discussion.
Okay, so for the last differences between American, British, and Indonesia is the life of young American, British, and Indonesia. Teenagers in America are very free. The Americans feel that marriage is just a way to legalize relationships and force them to commit long term. A lot of kids live with parents who are just in dating status because people in America have sexual relations since they are young. It's common in there, and 4 out of 10 unmarried United States youth have had sexual relations at least once. And then there is party stuff for teenagers in America. There is a celebration called Thank God It's Friday. For its celebration is where most American teenagers are having a wild party at one of their friends' houses as a weekend on Friday night, and a lot of other party. Teenage life in British is free, same as America. At their young age, they are allowed to do things like adults. For example, at the age of 16, they can go to the pub or bar, they can have sexual relations, even marry with permissions. At the age of 17, they can have a driver license. At the age of 18, they can have the freedom to choose to drink alcohol or cigarettes, or join the armed force and even the gangsters. But in Indonesia, teenage life is totally different from America and British. They are adults when they are 17 years old. At that age, they will get an identity card and driver license. However, teenage life in Indonesia is not free as in America or British. In Indonesia, you cannot have sexual relations before you got married. Many Indonesians will think it's weird and it's unusual in Indonesia. And things like Friday night in America, it's like Saturday night in Indonesia. Just the difference is Indonesian teenagers aren't as wild and brutal as American teenagers to celebrate. So that's it, some of many cultural differences in the United States, United Kingdom and Indonesia. From the different culture between the three countries, we know that there are many unique cultures. If we have a change to go to United States or United Kingdom, we have to maintain our behavior. We don't have to follow the culture that exists in the country, but at least we know it and we can take care of ourselves and respecting others.
So that's it for our podcast. Hope that give and add a lot of knowledge. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.